and welcome all. I am back with another tale from the Arabian Nights. It is called The Old Shoes. An old chemist named Qasim lived in Baghdad. He was rich, but he was also very mean. Qasim's arms are too short to reach his pockets, said one neighbor. He buries his money in the ground, said another. Perhaps he thinks it will grow like a plant. Qasim hides his money in drawers, said another neighbor. Does he think it will make his clothes smell sweet? If Qasim thought that, he was wrong. His clothes never smelled sweet because he was too mean to wash them. He was too mean to buy soap, so of course he was so much mean to buy new clothes. Every time a hole appeared, Qasim mended it. He wore the same shoes for 20 years. He mended them so often that they became huge and heavy. They no longer looked like shoes, but Qasim still wore them. Everyone made jokes about Qasim's shoes. Every year, Qasim had a bath. One fine morning, he decided, today's the day. He left his terrible old shoes on the step of the bath and went inside. The servants were good at their job. They washed Qasim with soap and hard brushes. They dried him with soft towels. They rubbed his body with sweet oil. It was hard work, but at last Qasim was fresh and clean again. While this was happening, another man decided to visit the baths. He took off his shoes and then left them on the step. He saw Qasim's shoes and said to the servant at the door, "You will frighten everyone away if you leave Qasim's shoes here." The servant picked up the old shoes with a long stick. He put them in a dark corner. When Qasim came out of the bath, he saw another man's shoes on his step. "This is wonderful," he cried. "I have often wanted some shoes like these. Now God has answered my prayers." His feet felt as light as air in the new shoes. When the other man came out of his bath, his shoes were not there. He soon smelled Qasim's shoes and brought them out of their dark corner. He went to Qasim's chemist's shop. "Come out, thief!" he roared. "Give me my shoes!" Qasim had to give the man his shoes. "Next time I shall call the police," said the owner of the shoes. Qasim had to pay him some money to keep quiet. "Now take your shoes," the angry man shouted at Qasim. Qasim was so angry and ashamed. Also, it hurts him to spend money. He threw his shoes over his garden wall. The shoes hit an old lady on the head and killed her. Her family cried and shouted, "Murder!" The police arrived and found the shoes. They knew at once, of course, that it was Qasim's shoes. Soon, Qasim was a prisoner. The judge sent for the executioner. "Choose," he told Qasim. "You can either pay the murdered woman's family or you must die. You must decide." It cost Qasim 20,000 gold pieces, but at last he was free again. He took off his shoes and jumped on them. He kicked them, but it hurt his feet too much. He threw the shoes in the river. Fish tried to eat the shoes. They rolled over their backs and died. At last, the shoes caught in a fisherman's net. They tore the net and all the fish escaped. The fisherman pulled the net into the boat and found the shoes. "Qasim's shoes," he shouted. "Qasim will pay for this." The fisherman was a huge, strong man. He took the shoes to Qasim's shop and threw them against the wall. Glass bottles fell from the shelves and broke on the floor. "Your shoes tore my net," roared the fisherman. He picked up Qasim in one huge hand and shook him like a rat. After the fisherman left, Qasim cleaned the blood off his face. He picked up the broken bottles. Then he took the shoes and buried them in the garden. Some people saw him. Qasim is burying treasure, they said. The news flew around the town. Soon a crowd of people were in Qasim's garden looking for the treasure. "There is no treasure here," said Qasim. No one believed him. At last, he had to pay everyone a gold piece to go away. After they left, he looked in his money boxes. They were empty. "What can I do with these terrible shoes?" said Qasim. He picked them up and ran to the judge's office. "Send these shoes to prison," he cried. "From the day forward, I have no shoes. Write this in your paper, Mr. Judge. Qasim does not own any shoes. He hasn't any money either, but that isn't important. If these shoes kill or hurt anyone, don't come to me because they aren't mine any longer." The judge watched Qasim go. The mean old chemist was walking away in his socks. "He has learned his lesson," the judge said to his servant. "But keep the shoes aside. If Qasim is mean again, we will just show him the shoes." And that's the end. Thank you.